with the left hand.
And welcome back to the 2016 MAAC Basketball Championships on ESPN3 tonight from the Times Union Center in Albany, New York. Our fourth quarterfinal matchup pitting the Fairfield Stags and the St. Peter's Peacocks. And this is the game I've most been looking forward to out of this round because you've got two teams that tied during the regular season. St. Peter's gets the 4 seed by virtue of tiebreakers, but this should be a flip of the coin between these two clubs that have been two of the better comeback stories of the year. And welcome everybody to Albany. Doug Sherman along with Rob Kennedy. And both of these coaching staffs, both of these rosters are easy to root for, and you don't want either of them to lose, but somebody is going to have to go home tonight. Somebody's going to go to the semis.
Yeah, they've been the two biggest surprises all season in the league. The biggest surprise, though, how Fairfield has done it. They've become an offensive juggernaut. Last couple of years, they didn't score the basketball. Boy, are they scoring it this year. Should be an interesting matchup of a team that wants to score it versus the Peacocks, who do a great job defending it.
Okay, let's take a look at our key players to the game, brought to you by I Love New York. Winter in New York State means more great things to do than ever. Plan your trip at iloveny.com.
Now, Marcus Gilbert's had a terrific career, top 10 in scoring all time at Fairfield, but he struggled in the two matchups this season against St. Peter's. Peacocks held him to just 4 of 21 from the floor in the two combined games. On the other side, Quadir Welton, he had a breakout year. Second team all-conference based on the fact that he's one of the better interior low-post players in the league. Had 2 good games, both wins for the Peacocks against Fairfield. Double-double in each of those games, Doug.
Well, Rob, we mentioned both coaching staffs off the top. For Sidney Johnson, this is his 5th year at the helm at Fairfield. He received votes for MAAC Coach of the Year. He could have won it this year. This is a team that has turned around 11 more wins than a year ago. That's the 3rd best improvement in the entire country. They come into this game with an 18-12 record. Meanwhile, John Dunn, his team was the number 9 pick in the preseason poll. All they do is come in tied for 4th in the regular season, 14-15 overall, 12-8 in league play. They've won back-to-back games, trying to make it 3 in a row to get into the semifinal round. Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Lids Team Sports. Jerome Segura has been a revelation at the point for Fairfield. He gets the basketball to those who need it. Keep your eye on number 3, Tyler Nelson. And as Rob talked about, number 14, Marcus Gilbert, first team all-conference. And for St. Peter's, Travis Weish, Antoine Portley, Quadir Welton, all conference types. Chaz Patterson, a terrific defensive player. Elias Desport getting the start to try and match up with the Stags for a spot in the semifinal round here tonight. A little bit of a late start tonight because our last quarterfinal game between Siena and Manhattan ran so long. And so these two founding members of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference will tip things off just about 7 or 8 minutes before the hour of 10 o'clock. And just lately, St. Peter's has had the better of this rivalry, having won 7 out of its last 8 against Fairfield. But the bulk of that was done while Fairfield was struggling the last 3 years. This year, Sidney Johnson and his reworked coaching staff has really helped to turn around. And you talked about the change in philosophy, Rob, and it's been remarkable how much they've changed and changed so well.
Yeah, averaging 78 points per game after really struggling to score the basketball last season. Last year, 26 games that they scored under 70 points.
Portley for 3, the terrific freshman, has the first points of the night.
He was on the all-rookie team as expected, 3 times chosen throughout the season as the Rookie of the Week, and it's his 3-point shooting and his ability to stretch defenses.
Around and out. Should also mention John Dunn received some votes as well for MAAC Coach of the Year, the honor that rightly went to King Rice of the regular season champion Monmouth Hawks. Welton hands to White, tries to give it back to the big man, and he lost it through his feet and out of bounds.
And one of the few times that Travis Weish makes a bad pass, not only in the top 5 in assists on the season, but he doesn't turn the basketball over either.
At 2.2 assist to turnover ratio, second best in the league behind Malcolm McMillan of Canisius. Jonathan Casababu Gives to Marcus Gilbert, and he finds the mark.
And that time he was able to get some separation against Chaz Patterson, who, as we said in the Open's, done a terrific job guarding Gilbert in their 2 matchups.
Yeah, the regular season finale, Gilbert 1 of 6 from the floor in 37 minutes, only 5 points. He's already more than halfway to that 5 already here tonight. Here's Portley guarded by Gilbert. Desport hands to Patterson. 6 to shoot. In they go to Welton. His pass deflected away to White. 2 to shoot. He did a good job just to get the shot up on the rim. Gilbert, deep 3. Casababu went up and over the back, knocked it out of bounds, but it'll stay at this end.
Well, he knocked both the basketball and 2 defenders out of bounds.
And yet somehow he's got the ball. Fairfield in its road red uniforms. St. Peter's in the home whites. And again, Fairfield was the number 8 pick in the preseason poll. St. Peter's was the number 9. Tyler Nelson has had a huge jump from freshman year to sophomore year. He averages 16 per game, 6th leading scorer in the conference. Portley. Segura, nice job defensively.
Yeah, that was a tough guarded shot. You got to be able to find a better look.
Nelson back to Segura, a true point guard who's always got his head up looking for his teammates. He's second in the conference at 5.3 assists per game behind A.J. English. 2-point shot.
Look how aggressive Marcus Gilbert's been, though, here in the early going.
It'll come back the other way. How much has Fairfield benefited this season? A little bit of serendipity. Not only did Sidney Johnson change the way they play, but with the way the college basketball game is called, has certainly helped them get that free-flowing offense going.
Well, and he went back to his roots. I mean, this is, think of Sidney Johnson, terrific player at Princeton, assistant coach at Georgetown. So they're back towards running more of the Princeton-style offense. They're just pushing the pace, though, and getting the ball up the floor a lot quicker.
And they've got better pieces as well. Casababu part of that, part of a terrific freshman class.
And what they've got now is shooters. The last couple of years, they just didn't have guys that could shoot the basketball.
Portland picks up the dribble, brings it back out to Patterson.
The 2 biggest reasons both these teams are big surprises is the freshman class. It's a one-man class, really, for St. Peter's, the play of Portland, and it's the depth of the freshman class for Fairfield with those 4 guys that have all won Rookie of the Week.
Segura back out Gilbert. Got to contest that shot. He drives by. Pass goes to the post. Millen banks it in.
And there's one of those freshmen who's been playing really well as of late. Back-to-back 16-point games. One of the reasons why he was the Rookie of the Week this past week.
Yeah, 6'9" freshman from Belgrade, Serbia, Matija Millen.
And he's a typical Princeton-style player. Skilled, he could dribble, pass, and shoot. For a little while, Fairfield got away from that. They stopped recruiting guys that played to that system.
Desport cleans up the miss. If they're going to leave him alone, he's got to do that.
But here's the biggest difference. Look how quickly Segura gets the basketball back up the floor.
First media timeout of the night. We'll take a break. 9-5 Fairfield leading St. Peter's.
It took me 11 years to finally track down the Acephedon Nicholas.
While bringing out the best in yourself. Know that you are joining a family with a rich history in both
but a total bargain compared to this little beauty.
The New York man spent $3.2 million on a dead bat.
I have such enormous respect for these creatures, which is why I stuff them in
Metro Atlantic Athletic
You'd make a way better rich person.
Celebrating 35
Lotto, making more New Yorkers rich than any other game.
And athletics.
Want to achieve more than you ever thought possible? At Canisius College, you can. A Canisius education is packed with extraordinary opportunities like top-level scientific research, global service experiences, and real-world connections. Want to intern at a Fortune 500 company? Want to get into the best medical and law schools? Want to be a champion for social justice? You can. Here.
Thanks for the ride around Norfolk. And I just wanted to say Geico is proud to have served the military for over 75 years.
Roger that. Captain's waiting to give you a tour of the Wisconsin now.
Could have parked a little bit closer. It's going to be dark by the time I get there.
Geico, proudly serving the military for over 75 years.
MAAC basketball is brought to you by I Love New York. Winter in New York State. There's something for everyone. Plan your trip at iloveny.com. Back inside the Times Union Center in downtown Albany, New York, where the St. Peter's Peacocks and the Fairfield Stags are playing for a spot in the MAAC semifinals. And let's send it over to the third member of our broadcast team here tonight, Matt Harmon.
Doug, thanks so much. You know, a couple of things have become a given here in the MAAC tournament. We know we're going to have great play. That's one. Now for the fourth year in a row, Fairfield and St. Peter's are matching up in their opening round of their tournament game. Biggest difference between this year and the last three is this one is in the quarterfinals. The last 3 years, it's been in the 7-10 game. St. Peter's last year was able to get into the semifinals. Fairfield did the same thing back in 2013. These two teams also finished up the regular season playing one another. St. Peter's looking for their third win in a row against the Stags.
Well, Matt, St. Peter's has made the drive north from Jersey City, New Jersey, where John Dunn has been in charge for a decade now.
And he said they get up here Thursday night. He said it's such a long time sitting around trying to get ready to play. Talking to him earlier today. It's like my team's really ready to get going.
Now, was there something that they had to get here Thursday for?
No, so I asked him, he said, well, women's team was coming up. We just want to make sure we get up there with them, so.
Got to keep the legs fresh.
Yep.
Cameron Jones has come into the game. Offensive foul called against St. Peter's. Rodney Hawkins, 6'7" sophomore from Baltimore. Millen, Nelson, Casababu, Gilbert, and Nelson back with the basketball. Segura's also out on the floor for the Stags. From Fairfield, Connecticut, Gilbert already with 6 points.
And he's been so aggressive. He's got 4 shot attempts off already. He's coming off screens, hiding behind ball screens, doesn't matter.
Well, nobody in Fairfield basketball history has made more career three-pointers than Marcus Gilbert, other than Derek Needham. Needham's #1. Playing professionally, I heard, over in Germany, but I understand he just got hurt not long ago, but one of the all-time greats in Fairfield hoops history. Shot clock again down for the Peacocks. Hawkins missed the rim, and it's a shot clock violation.
Well, St. Peter's been able to get the basketball inside of the paint, but they haven't converted. In each of the first 2 games, John Dunn's team has owned the paint, outscoring Fairfield by double figures each of the 2 games.
Samuel Idowu in. Hawkins and Welton out. Elias Desport also back onto the floor for the Peacocks in their home whites. Jerome Segura, 5'11" sophomore from Houston, Texas, runs the point for the Stags. 7 points, 5 assists per game. There he goes. Drive and dish, but waiting for the pass was Mr. Weish. Nelson poked it away. Ball loose. Who's going to get it? Out of bounds. And it's white basketball. The Peacocks will keep it. John Dunn, you just heard yelling, Antoine, pick it up.
Here's why, because he tries to dribble the basketball right there. You got to go reach with 2. It's one of the things that Portley, as a freshman, he's very skinny. As he gets some more upper body strength and becomes a little bit more filled out, he's got a chance to be a terrific player in this league. He already is.
Like Segura, he is a native Texan. Antoine Portley from Lancaster, Texas. Tough shot, up and in off the window for Weish.
Oh, it's good to see Weish get honored on the second team, because I was afraid he may have been a guy that everybody forgot about, but he's been so important to this team.
Millen now with 4. Spotting up, that's what Cameron Jones does. Left it well short. Millen uses the screen. Casababu off to Nelson. He's yet to get going. Here's Nelson. Straight on, rims off. Desport down with a rebound. Portley goes around Nelson, who recovers and blocks the shot. Millen stepping out.
And here's where St. Peter's got to settle down, slow it down. Pace right now is favoring Fairfield.
Idowu for three.
Well, just his second three-point shot of the season.
Shot it with confidence. He's now 2 for 7 on the year.
And when you have those numbers on the scouting report, no wonder he was so wide open.
Gilbert has it poked away from behind, out of bounds by White. Hockey change coming up for St. Peter's. 4 fresh legs coming in.
That toes it up. Nobody's within 10 feet of him. Didn't know he had that. Well, he didn't prior to that shot.
Well, I'm not sure Coach Dunn knew he had it. Probably one of those no, 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 yes, yes, yes. Kevin Degnan has come in for the first time for Fairfield. Nelson, tough shot. Degnan had to go through his hands to Elijah Boone.
You get yourself into the lane. St. Peter's challenges shots as well as anybody in this league. Solid man-to-man. They don't gamble. They don't beat themselves. But when you shoot the basketball, there's usually a St. Peter's defender in your face.
Boone with the left hand. Gilbert looking to push tempo. Segura to the corner. Degnan for three. It's good. 17-10 Fairfield. Sophomore from Pearl River is a legit threat beyond the arc. He's got his first 3 points off the bench. He's given Welton trouble, and then he gets called for the foul. That music means there's a timeout on the floor. 17-10 Fairfield. Back to the Times Union Center after this.
Packages. It's boys versus girls. We've got Bella and Megan. And we've got Logan and Adam. Are you guys ready? On your mark.
Coach, this was a team that beat you the last game of the regular season. Talk about what you've been able to do so far to get off to a good start.
Well, our guys are playing with confidence. You know, St. Peter's is a really good team, and they're very well coached. But, you know, we like what we've done this year, and we believe in ourselves, so we're just trying to give our best effort tonight.
And obviously, anytime you can get Marcus off to a good start with a couple of threes, it helps out.
Yeah, he's good, and we draw a lot of confidence. Your best player, when they show up, the other guys feel better about themselves, so hopefully that continues. They've guarded him well this season, so again, I hope it continues for 40 minutes.
Coach, thanks for coming by. Best of luck.
Yep, thank you.
MAAC has exciting news. We created a Geo filter on Snapchat for the MAAC Basketball Championship. Use the filter and send your snaps at MAAC Sports.
Fairfield with a 7-point lead over St. Peter's. We send it over to Matt with Stags head coach Sidney Johnson.
Coach, this was a team that beat you the last game of the regular season. Talk about what you've been able to do so far to get off to a good start.
Well, our guys are playing with confidence. You know, St. Peter's is a really good team, and they're very well coached. But, you know, we like what we've done this year, and we believe in ourselves, so we're just trying to give our best effort tonight.
And obviously, anytime you can get Marcus off to a good start with a couple of threes, it helps out.
Yeah, he's good, and we draw a lot of confidence. Your best player, when they show up, the other guys feel better about themselves, so hopefully that continues. They've guarded him well this season, so again, I hope it continues for 40 minutes.
Coach, thanks for coming by. Best of luck.
Yep, thank you.
Sidney Johnson this past offseason reworked his staff and brought in a couple of veteran assistants who know the MAAC inside and out. That is Mitch Bonaguro. You can see the back of him right there. And he used to be the Fairfield head coach back in the 80s and then was an assistant for a number of years here at Siena when they had their great run. And he has things that other people just can't offer to the Fairfield team. Tom Parada to his left as well. Two great hires, former head coach at Canisius.
And certainly those two guys have given Sidney good sounding board, much like the end of last season did when he brought Bill Carmody in as a special assistant to the head coach. And Sidney talks about the fact that that really helped him relook at the program. Yeah. And Sidney's a smart guy, and he's a very good basketball coach. And what he did, looked at the program and said, look, we won back-to-back 7 games in back-to-back years. They didn't have good enough players. And the biggest thing that Bill Carmody saw when he got there, you don't have guys that can dribble, pass, and shoot. How are you going to run our stuff? They got completely away from running the Princeton stuff. They run it at a different pace right now, but it works because they've got skilled basketball players.
And Coach Carmody took the head coaching job at Holy Cross this past offseason. Count the basket and one for Hawkins. And so Coach Johnson went and got a couple of the veterans. I mean, Tom Parada played at Fordham, so he knows all about the MAAC back to the 80s, and then his assistant coaching tenure for many years, and then head coaching at Canisius. One thing Sidney said during the coaches conference call earlier this week was not just in terms of game strategy and game preparation, player evaluation. These two guys know what to identify, and that's about what you were talking about with Coach Carmody.
And they did a terrific job as a staff with this freshman group. They've got 4 guys that all won Rookie of the Week, and they've got 4 guys that have a chance to be very good players at this level.
And of course, Sidney went on to say he appreciates every assistant coach he's ever worked with, and he means it. He's one of the classiest guys you'll ever meet. Also, Tyson Wheeler is the one holdover from the staff who continues to work for Fairfield, and they are looking for their 19th win of the year.
And that's one of the hardest things sometimes as a coach, to evaluate your own program and say, wait a second, I screwed up here a little bit. We've got to fix this.
Jerry Johnson Jr. And a foul up by the rim against Elijah Boone. Well, I know the Stags are thrilled to have number 2 in red back. There he is, Jerry Johnson Jr. making the nice pass inside. But Johnson missed the last 4 games of the regular season after the passing of his father, Jerry Sr., who died February 17th of lung cancer. And if you're from Memphis, Tennessee, you know that name, Jerry Johnson, in the basketball world. His dad was a great, not a good, but a great high school basketball coach. Had Thaddeus Young at Mitchell High School, and also led Kingsbury to a state title in '98. And so Junior went home to be with his mom and brother during a tough time. Now back with the team and playing here in the MAAC tournament.
And Sidney said, you know, it's so good to have him back. And he said, it's been so good for Jerry to be around the rest of the guys. That freshman group is really close. And he said it's really helped him get through such a tough time.
How would you rate this freshman class for Fairfield, Rob?
Very good, because, as I said, they've got depth. They've got 4 guys that all have a chance to be good players at this level. Casababa's a big, strong guy. He's made an impact right off the bat. Jerry Johnson, a terrific 3-point shooter. Cobb, a guy that can do a little bit of everything. And then Milan, a very good step-out 4-man that can stretch out defenses. I think it's the best class of the freshman class.
Patterson, nice job to get himself open. He's got 2 more.
And certainly Marist has a very deep and big freshman class as well. But I think the Fairfield group, because all 4 of these guys have already shown that they can be good MAAC players, I would take this class.
And you're happy for Marcus Gilbert, who will go to the line to shoot 3, because he has been the best player on a bad team the last 2 years, and as a senior, he's able to go out here as a winner. Patterson's first foul as Gilbert goes to the stripe. 6'6" senior from Smyrna, Delaware, out of Academy of New Church High School. Preseason first-team All-MAAC. And a first-teamer as well at the end of the year, as announced yesterday.
And Sidney Johnson said he really challenged him in the offseason. He said, I really got after Marcus because I knew he could be that good. And it wasn't even so much on the basketball side, but to step up and be a leader and be aggressive, because at times Marcus Gilbert was MIA. All that talent, he'd have games where he'd be 20 and then 0, 20 and then 0. This year he's been much more consistent because now all of a sudden he's been a little bit more aggressive and assertive.
And with that, he is the 6th all-time leading scorer in the program history, getting closer to Mark Young, who stands at 5th. Gilbert 9 points to lead all scorers so far tonight.
And Marcus's personality is a little laid back and quiet, so at times it's easy to kind of blend in. But this year he's been able to stand out.
Blocking foul is called, and they're going to count the basket. So Desport will have a chance for 3 when it looked like perhaps there could have been a travel call.
Perhaps. See right here, there's all the contact. Sidney Johnson, he doesn't get very animated usually at the official. No, he was on that one. That will not be used at any officiating conferences or camps over the next couple of months.
So Elias Desport, senior from Stockholm, Sweden, unable to complete the 3-point play. Segura not looking to shoot almost ever. Johnson has it poked away out of bounds. Stags will have it with 13 seconds to work.
But I like the way that Segura looks in the mirror and takes a good evaluation of his game. He's not an outside shooter, so then don't take outside shots. Too many guards that aren't good outside shooters and shoot such a low percentage still fire away. Play to your strengths.
We saw Tyler Wilson in our last quarterfinal for Manhattan play a terrific game, and he's not looking to score, but when they give it to you, you got to do it. Right there, shot clock's down, Segura's got to put it up, and he's able to bury it.
But that's just his 33rd three-point shot attempt on the season. So he averages about 1 attempt a game because it was late in the shot clock. He's made a decent percentage on the season, but he knows he's got other guys who are better three-point shooters, so he throws them the ball.
Desport the layup. Indeed, Segura's been so much better this year than last year as a freshman, where he was not playing the way he does this year. Gilbert's feeling it.
He ain't playing it in anymore. Right? Starting to show and play with incredible confidence. That was deep. That was A.J. English deep.
That was English Steph Curry deep. That was over in front of us. Patterson puts it up, toeing the line. Jones kept it alive, but he's going to be called for the foul. The lead is 10 for Fairfield as we head to break. Stags 28, Peacocks 18.
Deep within you is a relentless drive. You come prepared. You come willing to work. You come to win. Discover the Performance Protein Bar made just for you. Come ready. 24 grams of protein, 5 grams of fiber, no sugar alcohols. One unbelievably awesome taste. Come ready. You don't quit, and neither should your bar. Come ready for the competitor in you.
All right, everybody, if this doesn't get your toes tapping, then check your pulse.
Ba, 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 ba. The joy of cola, joy of bubbles, joy of fun, joy of Pepsi on your tongue, greatest taste sensation under the sun. Ba, 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 ba. Pepsi Cola.
With Matt Harmon and Rob Kennedy, I'm Doug Sherman. 28-18 Fairfield up by 10 for a spot in the MAAC semis. Well, you know, the 2016 MAAC Golf Championships had to Lake Buena Vista, Florida to compete on Disney's Magnolia Golf Course, April 22nd to the 24th. You can check out the highlights of the golf action on ESPN3 following each day's competition. For more information, visit MAACsports.com/golf.
Can you and I get that assignment?
Oh, boy. Rich Enser's right over there. I see him sitting with John D'Argenio, the Siena athletic director.
Let's work on that.
I imagine
I'm going to put you in charge of that.
Okay. Well, you, me, and Rich and John Dunn have been around long enough. We all should work something out. Be a fun foursome. It is amazing what the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference with Commissioner Enser has been able to do in their relationship with Disney and by proxy with the folks at ESPN to get the type of exposure they've been able to do. And they have so many other championships held down there. You and I get to go down every year for a coaches meeting in the fall when all the basketball coaches, men and women, get together and do a roundtable discussion. The folks down at Disney do a wonderful job for us. Segura no. Casababu taps it out. Johnson able to save it. Fresh shot clock for the Stags. Gilbert uses the screen. Hard to tell from this angle whether it went through or in front. Just caught the front of the rim. It was an air ball that did snap the bottom of the net. Patterson, bounce pass, found the cutting Boone who couldn't handle the pass. Fairfield in transition. Segura dropped back. Johnson thought about it and thought better. Here's Gilbert. Millen trying to post. Gilbert tries again from the right side. Got a little better look that time and buried it.
And he's just playing with great confidence, moving without the basketball. He's run into his last couple of three-point shots.
15 already for the 6'6" senior.
You see him cut through there. They do a good job defending him. Watch him right there. A little push off for some separation, but then he comes running right into that three-point shot.
And he's being hounded by Chaz Patterson, who's one of the better perimeter defenders in the league.
Yeah, he's like a glove, hangs all over guys. Fairfield right now has it going on both ends. Defensively, they've done a good job of getting multiple bodies into that lane to defend against Portland.
There you see the All-MAAC first team announced earlier this week. English, Robinson, and Bisping all unanimous selections. Richards and Gilbert on the team as well. Richards just had his career come to an end earlier tonight. That young man trying to avoid that same fate, although with an 18-12 overall record, even if Fairfield does not win the MAAC championship here in Albany this week, there's a very good chance that the Stags would wind up getting an invitation to one of the other tournaments.
Yeah, no question there. They'll be playing in postseason play after the MAAC tournament. But you see on this defensive end, Quadir Welton, who really dominated the paint in each of the last two games that these two teams played. You see the extra defender getting himself into the lane. You see the second defender. They're getting off other guys that can't shoot the basketball. So whoever's guarding Patterson is in there helping out.
Nice closeout again by Nelson, making it tough on Portland. Here goes Welton, and the help defender gets the block shot. Casababu knocks it out of bounds.
So they're not playing both Patterson and Hawkins, so both those defenders are in the lane. So you've got two extra defenders in there. Look at all those red jerseys. 3 red jerseys in the lane to try and negate Quadir Welton.
Yeah, tough to go 1-on-2. Welton picks up the dribble. Three-pointer off the mark by Patterson. 5:20 to go first half. Millen backing down Hawkins. Finds the cutting. Gilbert for the flush. Timeout, St. Peter's. Second time John Dunn has been extremely displeased with his defense.
On the other side, Sidney Johnson's got to be pleased not just with the play of Marcus Gilbert, but here's him stepping out of his personality, showing you he can be the alpha male. Best player on the team, now playing with a little bit of intensity and a little bit of an edge.
Sidney Johnson's club had won 6 straight ball games until losing to these Peacocks in the regular season finale. So a 6-game winning streak is something we have not seen in a long time out of the folks there in Southern Connecticut. So things have been trending in the right direction.
And in that 6-game winning streak, they scored 70 or more in each of those wins. That streak was stopped by St. Peter's because the Peacocks guarded and defended, held them to just 68 points. The first 2 games, Fairfield couldn't score against St. Peter's. They're held to 35 and 37% from the field. Much different here in this first half.
Well, Rob, it's been 19 years since Fairfield won a MAAC championship and went to the NCAA tournament. Not since the days of Paul Cormier have they made it that far. Welton will head to the line. And what a MAAC tournament that was back in '97 when Shannon Bowman came back from having been injured, played his Willis Reed role.
Yep.
They wound up giving North Carolina all they could handle in the first round of the NCAA tournament back in '97. Greg Francis, of course, was the MVP. And Mitch Bonaguro was the head coach at Fairfield for their first 2 MAAC championships in '86 and '87. So they've gotten there 3 times. Love to make it 4 here this year. There's Mitch in a nutshell.
He is a basketball lifer if there's ever a definition. When he was out of college coaching, he worked at our camps in the summer, and he ran sweat. Nobody worked harder than him. He looked like Jimmy Patsos every day at the, when you see Jimmy sweated, that'd be Mitch after each session. He would come up, oh man, I had a big group. He loves the game and is a terrific teacher of the game. And he is so thrilled to be back in it. And most of the people around the league are thrilled that he's back in it.
Yeah, he played his college ball. He's a native New Yorker, played his college ball at Boston College, and then was a young assistant under Rolly Massimino for the National Championship Wildcats. And he was one of 3 young assistants off of that Massimino staff to get head coaching jobs here in the MAAC. Millen around and out. Rebound comes to St. Peter's.
And a lot of guys who are Division I head coach, they wouldn't want to go back to camp, sleep in the dorms and do all that and hang out and eat pizza and, wings and stuff.
But that's who he is.
Maybe an adult beverage every once in a while. That's him. He is a coaching lifer.
Nelson couldn't finish. Desport took a shot. Play continues. And Coach Bonaguro still kept his home here in the Capital Region after he was let go 3 years ago by Siena. He and his wife still make their home. His son went to Siena, but has a home as well in the Fairfield area. Nelson able to complete at that time. 4 points for the terrific sophomore from Bradford, Mass.
And that's a way to stride out and get by the defender. St. Peter's right now, they've got to buckle down. They're a little disjointed. There's still plenty of time the way they defend, but they've been playing as if the last couple of possessions like the game's over. It's far from over.
Just thrown up and in by Travis White. Off his fingertips. I wasn't sure if that was a pass or a shot, but it settled in nicely.
Passed it to the basket, apparently.
Right. Welton pokes it away. Can the big fella go coast to coast? Well, Gilbert made sure he did not.
And as soon as he got it, he was looking for a guard. He wanted to give it to somebody else. They weren't there. So the big fella took it himself. St. Peter's in a 13-point hole, trying to find a way to climb back.
I'm Mike Richter, and I love New York. There's no place like it in the world, especially in the winter. You know I love to play on the ice, but I also love the snow. New York has over 50 ski mountains, more than any other state. So carve some turns, catch some air, or snowmobile in a state with over 10,000 miles of trails. New York State is a winter wonderland. So plan your trip at iloveny.com. There's something for everyone.
Fulfill your educational goals on a 22-acre private residential campus just minutes away from the world's economic, cultural, communications, and entertainment center, New York City. For more than 160 years, Manhattan College has promised a Lasallian Catholic education featuring 5 schools of study that challenge students to excel academically while providing career opportunities second to none. Find out what Manhattan College can promise your future.
Here's a look at the women's bracket for the 2016 MAAC Basketball Championships that have had the men and women playing at the same time, the same venue for many, many years now. And not quite chalk. Monmouth upset Fairfield earlier today. And so it'll be number 5 Monmouth taking on Quinnipiac, a game you can see at 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow right here on ESPN3. And then the second game, Iona and Marist, 2 versus 3, should be a good one. And they'll play for their women's championship game, 2:30 in the afternoon on Monday. And you can see that game on ESPNU as well as on the Watch ESPN app. Well, it's only been 5 years since St. Peter's was the team standing at the end of the MAAC tournament, cutting down the nets. John Dunn was the head coach then. He remains the head coach now, and this has been the best year since that time, and he has retooled his roster as well and gotten a big boost from a terrific freshman that one of his assistants, Matt Henry, identified a long time ago and realized that Courtley was going to be good.
Yeah, they've got 10 new players on this roster. Graduation last year to both Marvin Dominique, who had a terrific career after transferring from Fordham, was second-team All-League, and then Desi Washington, who single-handedly was a Fairfield killer. Yep. Remember a couple of years ago he had 3 game winners against the Stags, including one in the conference tournament to send them home.
Let's go over to Matt.
Doug, inside the St. Peter's huddle that last time out, John Dunn obviously frustrated with the way this first half has gone, addressed his guys, talked about why were we so good during the course of the year. We shared the basketball. The big emphasis here, win the next 3 minutes, try to get into halftime, settle down, and get back into this game.
As Rob pointed out, down 12, this is certainly something St. Peter's can handle. Lane violation. Welton will get another shot.
And you see Welton's got a bit of a hitch in his shot. He's been shooting it so much better at the foul line. Last 2 games, 8 of 10. Earlier in this season, he was under 50%. Has gotten that up to 56% on the season. See that hitch? You got to know that as a player, because that's where guys step in thinking the ball's coming out of his hands.
Degnan's come back in. He's got the basketball now for Fairfield. The winner here gets Monmouth tomorrow at 4:30. Long rebound grab by Nelson. Gilbert, tough shot. Patterson may have blocked it. Here comes White. Feathers the bounce pass through, and the layup is good by Welton.
Now Welton runs the floor. He's done a good job of getting himself in better shape over the 2 years so he can make that trip up and down.
Nelson is yet to really start looking for his shot. He made second team all conference. Segura, nice bounce pass. Degnan missed it. Welton comes down with a rebound. Under 2 minutes to go in the half. White, another one of those funky floaters from his hip.
Yeah, you got to be able to have that little teardrop. As a guard, you get into the lane, you're not going to be able to get all the way to the rim, so you've got to have that little floater.
Millen faces up now. Left it short. Degnan takes a dive.
Yeah, good call. Good description as well.
And Welton gets the bucket. He's pumped up and trying to lead his team back into the ball game.
Yeah, so many times officials get baited into that as soon as guy flops and falls down. Not enough contact.
Well, in the NBA, we see that flop called much more often, not so much in college basketball. Another one of the things that J.D. Collins addressed on that national conference call I was on a couple of weeks ago, trying to make sure you don't have that sort of thing in the college game either.
And I think when guys flop, just call block.
Yeah.
And then guys will stop flopping, right? You know, if you go, just call a block. But good no call.
Yep.
And St. Peter's, much like Matt was saying, so far they've won this 3-minute segment. And if they can keep this lead in single digits and regroup at halftime,
sure,
I think John Dunn and his staff would be happy.
Well, this is St. Peter's team that was picked 9th in the preseason. 3-time NCAA trips out of the MAAC. They twice won the tournament here in this building in 1991 and 95. And that would have been Roger Blind.
Well,
and Ted Fiore was
Ted
the first
Fiore was
one.
the head coach.
For
No, he
both
won
of
both.
those?
Yep.
Okay, so
Yep.
Fiore won both. Blind was on the staff.
Yep.
And then in 2011 with Coach Dunn when they did it in Bridgeport. Nelson with 2 to shoot. Nice job just to wall up by Welton. And he forces the turnover.
And another good non-call because, again, that's the defender's space. As Nelson was the guy that just jumped in and made the contact.
43.1 on the clock here in the half. Johnson out, Gilbert in. Let's see what St. Peter's can come up with. Down 8. White passes away from the double team. Welton trying to back his way down. Casababu does a nice job to make it tough. Nelson hustles down the long rebound.
Now Casababu's got the size and strength to be able to bang against Welton one-on-one.
6'8", 240. He does not look like your typical freshman.
No, he's an immovable object.
My goodness.
On the defensive side.
He looks like a 4th-year senior who's been pumping iron for 4 years at college. He sets the screen. Gilbert can't get the ball. Segura goes. 1 to get it up. Lost it.
Oh, almost.
That'll do it for the first half. Fairfield has been playing from in front. They led by as many as 15, but it's only 8 as we head to break. 35-27 for a spot in the MAAC semifinal round. Our MAAC halftime report coming up right after this.
We are St. Peter's University, a place where students who are eager to learn are taught by people who care, on a campus designed for both to thrive. We're proud to offer incredible learning opportunities and life-changing experiences, and that means our students are prepared to succeed in their fields, in their communities, and all over the world. Get to know St. Peter's University, the Jesuit University of New Jersey.
Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Elias, I heard your coach John Dunn tell you guys before the 3-minute break, really important to close out that first half on a high note. You guys were able to make a little bit of a run.
Yeah, we got some good stops down the stretch, which we needed, and be able to get some buckets too. And we just did our job down the stretch, and we got to keep it up for the second half.
In the second half, you know it's going to be difficult. How are you going to address defending Marcus Gilbert?
Hey, we just have to try contested shots, man. He's a great player. We just kind of tell Chaz to keep a good job, and all the other guys got to be in good help. So we just got to try to make it hard for him, man. He's a tough player, man, so we got to make it hard for him.
Elias, best of luck in the second half.
Shooting star, one shining moment is all on the line. One shining moment. That's good.
I'm going to leave him a shot on the ground.
Back in Albany, where Fairfield's once 15-point lead is cut down to 8 thanks to a 7-0 St. Peter's run to head to the locker room. A moment ago, Matt caught up with Fairfield's top scorer, Marcus Gilbert.
Marcus, great start for you personally offensively. The team as a whole really has things going.
Yeah, I just try to be aggressive in the first few minutes, and it's just been working out for me. Just being confident with my shot, and it's been going down. So
defensively, you've made things pretty difficult for St. Peter's. Talk about the intensity.
Yeah, we're just trying to keep Welton off the ball, off the block, and try to contain Portley and Weiss, and this has been working out for us. So
best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
And we appreciate Marcus Gilbert's time stopping by before he heads to the locker room. Here's a look at the bracket as it stands to the moment. Iona and Siena have punched their tickets to play in the second semifinal tomorrow. Monmouth awaits the winner of this one, and Rich Enser reiterated that it is fair that Fairfield's going to have a very short turnaround, or St. Peter's, whoever wins. Monmouth will be well rested with today off because they earned it by winning the regular season championship. So either the Stags or the Peacocks will have a quick turnaround to take on the top-rated Hawks tomorrow in our first semifinal. Take another break and come back with more of our halftime report here in Albany. 35-27 Fairfield.
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star. One shining moment is all on the line. One shining moment. That's good.
All right, everybody, if this doesn't get your toes tapping, then check your pulse.
Ba 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 ba. The joy of cola, joy of bubbles, joy of fun, joy of Pepsi on your tongue. Greatest taste sensation under the sun. Ba 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 ba. Pepsi Cola.
Know that you will always compete against the best while bringing out the best in yourself. Know that you are joining a family with a rich history in both academics and athletics. To know that you will become one of the future leaders of tomorrow. To focus on one goal, graduation. That's the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, celebrating 35 years of excellence in academics and athletics.
Hey, guess what day it is?
Hump day!
Hump day! It's hump day!
Yeah.
Hey, Mike! Mike!
Guess
what day it is? Hey, Camel! Guess what day it is?
It's not even Wednesday. Let it go, Phil.
If you're a camel, you put up with this all the time. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Times Union Center. 35-27 Fairfield at the half, leading St. Peter's in our final quarterfinal. And this has been the week where all the awards have been handed out for the 2016 season. Let's take a look.
The Rock Coach of the Year, King Rice, Monmouth University. In his 5th year at the helm of Monmouth University, King Rice guided his team to the MAAC regular season title with a 17-3 MAAC mark and a program record 25 wins. His Hawks earned wins over 5 Power 5 conference teams in the 2015-16 season, including the program's first win over a nationally ranked team. The Rock Coach of the Year, King Rice, Monmouth University. Rookie of the Year, Micah Seaborn, Monmouth University. Seaborn is a 6'5" freshman guard from Fort Worth, Texas. He scored 13 points per game in the regular season, good for 21st in the league. He ranks 4th in the MAAC with his 85% free throw percentage and 8th with his 39.3 three-point field goal percentage. 3 MAAC Rookie of the Week honors in the 2015-16 season, en route to being a unanimous choice to the All-Rookie team. Rookie of the Year, Micah Seaborn, Monmouth University. Defensive Player of the Year, Javion Ogunyemi, Siena College. Oganyemi, a 6'8" junior forward from Troy, New York, led the league with 2.1 block shots per game in the regular season. He ranked second in the conference in offensive rebounds, grabbing 3.3 per game, and seventh in rebounds, averaging 6.3 an outing. Oganyemi also averaged 15.1 points during the regular season, good for 11th in the MAAC, and logged the second highest field goal shooting percentage in the 2015-16 season. Defensive Player of the Year, Javion Oganyemi, Siena College. Sixth Player of the Year, Nico Clarith, Siena College. Clarith, a 6'5" freshman guard from Baltimore, Maryland, averages 13.1 points per game, which ranks 20th on the conference scoring list, making him a unanimous selection to the all-rookie team. He accounted for 1.5 steals per game, which tied for second best in the league, and shot 46.2% from the field to place him at number 12 in the MAAC. Clarith was a two-time MAAC Rookie of the Week choice this season. Sixth Player of the Year, Nico Clarith, Siena College.
And not surprisingly, with 3 Hawks winning those big awards, 2 Saints, both of those teams are on to the semifinal round. Monmouth won its quarterfinal last night. Siena winning earlier tonight here in Albany, and so they all survived to play another day, trying to make it to the Monday night championship game here at the Times Union Center. We'll take another break and come back with more of our halftime report. 35-27 Stags over the Peacocks.
I'm Mike Richter, and I love New York. There's no place like it in the world, especially in the winter. You know I love to play on the ice, but I also love the snow. New York has over 50 ski mountains, more than any other state. So carve some turns, catch some air, or snowmobile in a state with over 10,000 miles of trails. New York State is a winter wonderland. So plan your trip at iloveny.com. There's something for everyone.
You must do the thing you think you cannot do.
The mind is everything. What you think, you become.
It is not best that we should all think alike.
He who learns but does not think is lost.
The main purpose of life is to live rightly, think rightly, act rightly.
Oh, the things you could think up if only you try.
Deep within you is a relentless drive. You come prepared. You come willing to work. You come to win. Discover the Performance Protein Bar made just for you. Come ready. 24 grams of protein, 5 grams of fiber, no sugar alcohols. One unbelievably awesome taste. Come ready. You don't quit, and neither should your bar. Come ready for the competitor in you.
The right education can inspire you to do anything. Challenge yourself. Prepare for success. This is your moment to create, explore, discover, matter to each other and to the world. Be inspired to do anything at Monmouth University.
35-27, Fairfield's lead that was 15 is now 8. And back inside the Times Union Center where the Stags pep band is having a good time. With Rob Kennedy, I'm Doug Sherman, and St. Peter's did close that first half on a good 7-0 run to get a little bit closer. But if you're the Peacocks, do you need to find a way to get Antoine Portley going? He's got only one made bucket.
Well, you've got to do one of two things. You either got to get Portley going on the perimeter, or you've got to force feed the basketball inside to Quadir Welton. I think Fairfield did a very good job of collapsing multiple defenders on him and taking a big guy away, and he's the guy that really dominated in their first 2 matchups, which were both St. Peter's wins.
Well, as we show you the highlights, St. Peter's did early on try and get it inside to Welton. It didn't always work out, but it did net 2 points.
Well, you see what happens. He's got 2 defenders on him all the time, so that's allowing a guy like Elias Desport, a guy who doesn't score the basketball a whole lot, to come on up with a couple of buckets. He was a perfect 3 for 3, including that one after the walk. But as well, if he's going to be able to get some opportunities inside, fine, but they've got to still play through Quadir Welton.
Meanwhile, Marcus Gilbert was good from the start, good through the middle of the first half and good right to halftime.
I agree. And what he was aggressive right from the start through the middle. And at halftime, he came out with a chip on his shoulders. Nobody guarded him better in the regular season than did the Peacocks. He had just 4 field goals in their first 2 games. He's already got 5, and as we said, coming out of his shell a little bit, showing you why he was a first-team All-League guy.
Well, he knocked down 4 of his 6 3-point shots, had that slam dunk, 17 points to lead all scores as we take a look at our Geico first-half statistics.
And Fairfield, first 2 games, losses to St. Peter's, shot it at 35 and 37%. They were well above 50% for most of that first half until they missed some shots at the end.
Can the Peacocks continue their run, or can Marcus Gilbert continue his hot hand? His 17 points lead the way. Fairfield 20 minutes away from making its way to the MAAC semifinal round. Back to Albany right after this. Welcome back to the 2016 MAAC Basketball Championships here on ESPN3 at the Times Union Center in Albany, New York, the state capital of New York. Our score, 35-27 Fairfield. Earlier during this halftime break, Matt had a chance to catch up with the Peacocks senior forward Elias Desport.
Elias, I heard your coach John Dunn tell you guys before the 3-minute break, really important to close out that first half on a high note. You guys were able to make a little bit of a run.
Yeah, we got some good stops down the stretch, which we needed, and be able to get some buckets too. And we just did our job down the stretch, and we got to keep it up for the second half.
In that second half, you know it's going to be difficult. How are you going to address defending Marcus Gilbert?
Hey, we just got to try contested shots, man. He's a great player. We just got to tell Chaz to keep a good job, and all the other guys got to be in good help. So we just got to try to make it hard for him, man. He's a tough player, man, so we got to make it hard for him.
Elias, best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Well, unlike our previous quarterfinal here tonight, nobody's in foul trouble. John Dunn's club had momentum going into the first half. Let's see who's got that momentum coming out of the break. John Dunn had a long run as an assistant coach on his way up the ladder. Western Michigan, Manhattan, Siena. And then he followed Lewis Orr from Siena to Seton Hall, where he spent a few years on Coach Orr's staff before getting his opportunity as head coach at St. Peter's. Fairfield with the basketball to start the second half.
Tell you what, Travis White's done a really good job defensively against Tyler Nelson. He's kept the ball out of Nelson's hands through most of the first half.
Casababu with the first 2 points here in the second half. Weich, Patterson, Desport, Portley, and Welton getting the start here in the second half. Same starting five in the first half for St. Peter's in the home whites. Millen, Nelson, Segura, Casababu, and Gilbert. Same starting five in half number 2 for Coach Johnson. Desport gets crushed. My goodness, he's going to have to.
Casababu is a big dude, man.
He is every bit of that 6'8", 240 pounds, and Desport didn't stand a chance.
I mean, Desport's a big guy.
Yep. He's 6'8", 230, it says,
yeah.
But
throws him around like a rag doll.
And there's that physicality coming into play again.
That's the other thing about this freshman class that really got to like. They've got one of everything. They've got a 5, a 4, and then 2 guards that can play any one of those 3 positions.
Casababu, no. You know, Fairfield had a couple of bigs last year who played most every game. Mike Kirkland Jr., Amadou Sidibe, and also Coleman Johnson, 3 guys. And none of them have been much of a factor throughout the season this year.
Well, Sidibe, remember, is hurt, and so he's redshirting, and so he's unavailable. But you're right, the other 2 guys just don't see minutes. I mean, Kirkland doesn't get in at all.
Nothing, and he started all 31 games last year.
Yeah.
Coleman Johnson has had flashes. He's played a bit more late in the year, but we haven't seen him tonight.
No, because what they figured out is that they needed better players than some of the guys getting lots of minutes, and that's hard to do as a coach sometimes, to come to that reality.
Portley able to find the range.
Well, you said, Doug, they've got to get him going. He's their leading scorer. When he scores, they win. And the wins, he averages over 18 a game. For a long stretch in the losses, he was averaging about 12 points per game.
Welton picks up the foul, trying to keep the entry pass from Casababu. First foul on Welton. Now, why in our first quarterfinal tonight, Rob, did we have 147 fouls called? And in this game,
you can't ask
none.
me. You got to go ask the 3 guys that had the stripes on.
But I mean, it can't just be the officials, right? I mean,
no,
style
team
of play,
style of play, huge. And remember, Manhattan puts pressure on guys. I mean, that's how they play. They get up, they're physical, they're trapping, they're reaching all the time. They're one of those teams that, as an official, when you get your assignment, you know you got them. You got to work it that night.
Yep. In that previous game between Siena and Manhattan, won by the Saints, 7 different players had at least 4 personal fouls. That's why we got such a late start here for the nightcap, because the game took so long with all the stoppages. This one has been much more free-flowing, which certainly should favor Fairfield. Ball goes out of bounds, and it'll stay down at this end.
Last 2 possessions, they've put Portley in a ball screen with Welton to try and create a little 2-man game between those 2 guys, because then that way you don't get the help diving inside against Welton.
Well, those are your 2 best offensive options, along with White. He's got the basketball now. Gets a little separation, attacks the rim. Casababu says no. White again. He doesn't care. He's given up, what, 8 inches there? 50 pounds, and he just keeps going.
Well, when they've been stagnant offensively and nothing's gone on, Weiss is the guy who single-handedly tried to make something happen. A couple of big buckets in that first half. But as you said, their offense really runs through Portley, and that's one of the things. Surprisingly, he only got 1 vote as the Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
You know, because of the fact, in my mind, he's their leading scorer. And so, Micah Seaborn had a very good freshman year, and I've got no problem with him being the Rookie of the Year. But Portley, he's the guy they focus in on all the time. He's the leading scorer. He's the guy they've got a game plan. He's the guy that's got the bullseye in his back every game, where a lot of other freshmen are the secondary guy. And so people are keying on to Justin Robinson And so a guy like Seaborn's got a little bit more space.
Yeah, we thought between those top 4 individual freshmen, not counting the terrific freshman class here at Fairfield, that the 11 votes would be split 4 ways, but they were only split 3 ways, with Portley not getting any votes for Rookie of the Year. We should mention Fairfield, as Nelson made the shot, playing tonight without Curtis Cobb. Didn't play the last 2 games of the regular season with an ankle injury, and out again here tonight.
And Sidney Johnson said there is a chance maybe if they get to Monday he might be available.
Segura, drop it off Degnan, blocked from behind by Welton. Millen cleans it up.
But Segura is the guy that makes that play, getting deep into the lane. He's the guy that makes this offense go.
Fairfield reestablishing control with a quick start to the second half.
It took me 11 years to finally track down.
Knowing that Niagara University has been named a best value means that it's one of the best investments that you can make in an education.
It was pricey,
I want
but
parents
a
to think
total
about a Niagara
bargain
University
compared to this
education
little
as a
beauty.
great
A
investment
New York
in your
man spent
child's
$3.2
future.
million on a dead
There's a lot
bat.
of talk about
I have
teachers not
such
getting
enormous
jobs these
respect
days.
for these people.
Our students are getting
Which is
jobs.
why I
We have schools
stuff 'em
calling
hanging
us
on the
asking for our most
You'd make
recent
a way
graduates,
better rich
which is
person.
very exciting.
Lotto,
Our
making
success
more New Yorkers
depends on
rich
the
than any
students'
other
success
game.
at Niagara University. We want you to be the best student that you can be.
All right, everybody, if this doesn't get your toes tapping, then check your pulse.
Ba 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 ba. The joy of cola, joy of bubbles, joy of fun, joy of Pepsi on your tongue. Greatest taste sensation under the sun. Ba 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 ba. Pepsi Cola.
At Quinnipiac University, we offer the warmth and spirit of a small town. You feel it the moment you step on our picturesque campus, and a team of upperclassmen helps you move into your freshman dorm. You feel it in the dining areas as students and faculty share meals together. And you can cheer with your friends and Boomer the Bobcat at many of our exciting NCAA Division I sporting events. This is Quinnipiac University, where you're part of our community.
That is Marilyn. I was on a jury duty. I served jury duty with that woman about 15 years ago.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding. She is one of the best.
And you didn't tell them to go shoot her in the stands?
No, they just said in the truck. Andy Brill said we're going to have a woman who's a Siena fan who has been here all night, still here. And I said, I'm guaranteeing you I'm going to know her. And sure enough, she and I convicted a man once. I'm not kidding you. The 2016 MAAC Water Polo Championship.
Perfect segue.
If you can't believe that, believe this, that the McCann Natatorium in Poughkeepsie at Marist College is where the 2016 MAAC Water Polo, I'm not kidding. The Water Polo Championship is going to be April 30th. She knows. She'll be there. For more information, visit macsports.com/waterpolo. I've lived in this area for about a quarter century, so I figure I know most everybody in the building. You think I'm making that up?
No, there's no way you could make that one up. I mean, there's no chance. We know that's true.
And then about 3 years later, they overturned our conviction. I was glad I wasn't on the second jury.
Let it go.
All right, back to the ball game. 43-30 Fairfield.
That sounded like we had 4 games today, like we used to have.
That's true. Getting a little punchy.
Format, 2 games.
All too easy.
Welton trying to post up, but Fairfield's run different bigs at him. Now it's Degnan with the defensive assignment. Atakasi Babu did a terrific job.
Weish getting a nice look coming out of the timeout.
Well, he's the third guy if you're going to put all the attention to Portley and Welton.
Just like that, Degnan answers back for the Stags.
And last year, you would never have had to worry about that playing Fairfield. They were walking the ball up the floor, no longer.
Boone, no. Welton, yes.
Great hands to come on up with that offensive rebound.
Second team all-conference out of Philadelphia. He's still got another year. Finished second in rebounds during the regular season in the conference behind Brett Bisping. Nelson picking it up a bit here in the second half. He's got a chance for 3.
And last year, Tyler Nelson had a terrific year. He was on the all-rookie team, but he was just a catch-and-shoot guy. He has worked on his ball handling, because if you shoot the ball that well, you know guys are going to crowd you. You've got to be able to have a release. He's got that. Not quite sure where the contact was, but nice move turning the corner.
Can you say Shane Richards?
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities between those two guys.
Media timeout here in Albany, 47-34 Stags.
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star. One shining moment is all on the line. One shining moment. That's good.
Thanks for the ride around Norfolk, and I just wanted to say Geico is proud to have served the military for over 75 years.
Roger that. Captain's waiting to give you a tour of the Wisconsin now.
Could have parked a little bit closer. It's going to be dark by the time I get there.
Geico, proudly serving the military for over 75 years.
Deep within you is a relentless drive. You come prepared. You come willing to work. You come to win. Discover the Performance Protein Bar made just for you. Come ready. 24 grams of protein, 5 grams of fiber, no sugar alcohols. One unbelievably awesome taste. Come ready. You don't quit, and neither should your bar. Come ready for the competitor in you.
Hey, it's Jerry Sherry. I am not kidding you. I know that guy, too. That's Jerry Sherry. He makes all the Sienna road trips.
And who's that?
That's my Uncle Steve.
No way.
No, I don't know that guy. But I'm telling you, the first guy was Jerry Sherry. I'm not kidding you. These Sienna fans are loyal. Well, the 2016 MAAC Men's and Women's Tennis Championships, April 30th, May 1st in Mercer County Park in West Windsor, New Jersey. For information, visit MAACsports.com/tennis. Don't miss a minute of the action and head out to support your MAAC team. Yeah, you got me again on that one. But this is why the MAAC tournament belongs in Albany. Because of the fan base. This is why the Sienna fans are better than any other fans in terms of numbers in this area. Now, I like what I've seen out of Monmouth this year. They have grown exponentially. They had tons of sellouts.
Yep.
But their facility is not big enough, even if their fan base continues to grow, to really support hosting the MAAC tournament. But the Sienna fans are the reason why the tournament keeps coming back to the Capital Region. That was Jerry Sherry. I'm not kidding you.
I was all teed up. They were going to show a guy you didn't know, and I was just going to just say it's Joe. He's my barber, Joe the barber.
I'm not making it up. No relatives in the crowd. At least not by blood. Sitting here with my brother, though, Rob Kennedy. Fairfield on top 48-34 with the basketball. The winner takes on Iona tomorrow. Or rather takes on Monmouth, tomorrow at 4:30.
But I love that. You got a guy like Tyler driving the basketball, kicks it back out to Marcus Gilbert. Then you close out on him. You throw it to another guy in Milan that can shoot the basketball. So you got to guard multiple guys out on the perimeter. You didn't have to do that last year. You had to guard Tyler Nelson. Oh, hey, what's happening? I know this guy, too, by the way. We didn't serve on jury duty, but
not yet.
Every once in a while we watch basketball together, right? But that's the total difference of this team. Last year you throw it out to a guy that couldn't shoot the basket. You don't have to close out. You don't get spacing.
Right.
You don't get gaps. You and I talk about it all the time. It seems so fundamentally simple that guys that can dribble, pass, and shoot are good basketball players. Then when you combine it with size and athleticism, then you win games. You have a really good team.
And I know we're products of the 70s and 80s, and you think of the skill level of players back then. Players are better now in a lot of ways, but in terms of the basic fundamentals, are they as good now as they were back then?
Well, some guys are. And one thing is that the three-point shot has been both a blessing and a curse to skill level. And how we go about our business with high school players and how they're recruited through AAU and everything else, at times we don't spend enough time teaching. High school coaches don't get enough time to spend with their kids. I've got 4 kids, all of them play basketball, and their high school coaches do a tremendous job. They just don't have enough time with those guys because of so many rules, regulations. You can't practice, you can't do this, that, and the other. And everybody wonders why our skill level's not where it is in the European side. Well, it's because partly our system is broken, and we've got to get it back to where we are focused on fundamentals and skills and not just playing games all the time.
Yeah, now with that said, Rob, with the rules changes in college basketball this year, I think we have seen that the skill level is not as bad as maybe I thought it was before, because now guys are being allowed to dribble, pass, and shoot with greater ease than they could before.
Exactly, and it certainly has helped the game.
Weiss, little leaner again, got another one.
He's had a lot of those. And again, if you're a smaller guard, that's something you have to practice and work on. One thing about Travis Weiss, in high school, he couldn't shoot the basketball at all, but he is a gym rat. He works on his game. He's gotten so much better. That's why I was so happy to see him get selected on the second team, because you love to see guys like he and Quadir Welton who have gotten better, and because of it, they get rewarded.
Weiss with 11 points. St. Peter's down by 12. 5 to shoot for Nelson. He glances up at the clock. Tough shot for 2. Front rimmed it, and that's St. Peter's defense. Coming back the other way on offense. Boone. Patterson. And he pulls it back out. Probably a smart move. Degnan was staying on the floor. Weiss again into the lane. Welton tips to himself. Ripped away by Gilbert. And before possession was gained by Gilbert, the whistle comes for a held ball. So the possession arrow stays down here. St. Peter's keeps it. New shot clock for the Peacocks. Portley over Millen, giving up a lot of size there.
That's a tough shot. Another guarded deep shot for Portley.
Degnan tries the reverse. He's shown some good athleticism the last couple of possessions. Why was Antony White standing in the backcourt? I mean, Travis Weiss, excuse me. He didn't run up with the rest of them. We'll head to break. 11:53 remaining. 12-point Fairfield lead.
Deep within you is a relentless drive. You come prepared. You come willing to work. You come to win.
Coach, I know it's been a frustrating
Discover
night
the
so
Performance Protein Bar made just for you.
Invested in this game?
Come ready. 24 grams of protein, 5 grams of fiber, no sugar alcohols, one unbelievably awesome taste. Come ready. You don't quit, and neither should your bar. Come ready for the competitor in you.
And inch our way back in, and if we do that, we'll be okay. There's still a lot of time on the clock here, but we're trying to hit home runs offensively, and we're not playing good, proper team defense on the other end. Again, way too many easy baskets.
Coach, appreciate the time. Best of luck.
Thank you.
St. Peter's finds itself down 12 with 11:53 remaining in the second half. Let's get the thoughts of John Dunn over there with Matt Harmon.
Coach, I know it's been a frustrating night for you so far on the sideline. What are you telling your guys right now to keep them vested into this game?
Well, obviously we gotta, they're kind of punking us a little bit. They're getting into us. It's really affecting us. We gotta have a lot more poise, but at the same time we gotta play a lot harder. We're throwing the ball all over the place. We're kind of losing our minds a little bit. We're trying to make 10-point plays. We just got to settle down and inch our way back in. And if we do that, we'll be okay. There's still a lot of time on the clock here. But, we're trying to hit home runs offensively, and we're not playing good, proper team defense on the other end. Again, way too many easy baskets.
Coach, appreciate the time. Best of luck.
Thank you.
I think that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
This is a team that's built on their team defense. They have not locked in defensively the way they usually do. And then at times they haven't been as patient as we usually see them on the offensive end. I like this analogy. They got to start getting some singles and not worrying about home runs.
Well, Coach Dunn finishing up his huddle there. And like he said, still plenty of time to get it going. 11:53 on the clock. But the Peacocks at 14 and 15 in jeopardy of having their season come to an end. Now the good news is for St. Peter's, they've got just the one senior. We heard from him at halftime, Elias Desport. Everybody else coming back with a terrific group of guys sitting out in transfers.
Yeah, they've got 3 transfers sitting out. They feel like those guys can help give them some depth, one of the issues they've had throughout this year, and also give them that 4th scoring threat out of one of those guys. That as well has been a problem. They've got 3 guys that are scoring threats, but that 4th been hard to come by at times.
Yeah, one of them was recruited to the A-10. One was recruited to the American Conference. Nick Griffin coming from George Washington, and Kayvon Baker coming from Houston. Boone goes out. Portley comes in. Segura, Millen, Degnan, Nelson, and Gilbert, who has yet to score here in the second half. All 17 of his points came before the break. Segura into the paint. Now Degnan spins and reverses. He has shown good footwork and dexterity here in the second half.
Yeah, it just came up empty, though, on both of the reverses.
Good hesitation by Portley. Kick it back out. Patterson thought about swinging it. Instead puts it to the floor. A screen and roll. Welton dove to the basket. Couldn't find him. Portley. Little floater.
And that's what he's got to do with the defender running at him. Millen did a great job closing out. That's got to be your answer. And as Portley gets bigger and stronger, he's going to be able to drive and finish at the rim a lot more. He reminds you body type a little bit of Marcus Gilbert when he was a freshman.
Yeah, they list Portley at 6'4", 165. And throughout the season, isn't it customary that guys lose weight? Segura on the turnaround. You know, you with all the grind that you have, you bulk up a bit in the offseason, and because you know you're going to lose some weight throughout the year.
And he's ran out a little bit of steam here late. Last couple of games, 3 out of the last 4 have been single digits, and that's where that upper body strength has got to come through in a long college basketball season.
Welton through Degnan for 2.
And he just continues to get better and better and better. He's finishing so much better as this season has worn on.
Offensive foul against Fairfield and against Gilbert for the illegal screen.
You saw him push off to try and get open. We saw that on a replay in the first half when he came off the one screen.
So the Chaz Patterson.
Yep,
yes.
Exactly. That time the officials caught it.
Might they have been tipped off by an assistant coach at some point? That's what they do, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they say keep an eye out for this.
Or a lot of times it's the player. It may have been Patterson who said something to the official. Hey, he's pushing off to get open.
Yep. And that happens all the time. It's just what you can get away with. Portley had it blocked by Gilbert. Degnan knocks it into the floor, and here comes Fairfield.
That's trying to hit another home run, take the singles.
Under 9 minutes to go. Segura works on Jones. Nelson into traffic, and he just puts it up on the rim, and it falls through. 11 now for Nelson, the sophomore from Bradford, Massachusetts. His father works for the Utah Jazz. He's a scout. Weiss couldn't handle the bounce pass from, rather, Welton couldn't handle it from Weiss. There's Welton finishing again.
Well, this was a disjointed play at best.
I think he kept his pivot foot. What do you think?
Yeah, he did. He definitely did.
So what's the displeasure to the official from the Fairfield bench?
I think they were thinking that the defender had his arms straight up and that there wasn't a foul. I don't think they were arguing for the walk call. But you got to be careful.
$14 points now for Quadir Welton. And there you go, John Dunn saying, let's go, trying to get his guys fired up.
There's still plenty of time. Over 8 minutes to go. If they can come up with some stops on this end.
Welton. Little hand fighting coming up court between Portley and Segura. And the Fairfield sophomore is the guilty party. Sidney Johnson's going to use a timeout.
Yeah, the media timeout coming in 6 seconds, but instead takes it to regroup.
We are St. Peter's University, a place where students who are eager to learn are taught by people who care, on a campus designed for both to thrive. We're proud to offer incredible learning opportunities and life-changing experiences, and that means our students are prepared to succeed in their fields, in their communities, and all over the world. Get to know St. Peter's University, the Jesuit University of New Jersey.
Know that you will always compete against the best while bringing out the best in yourself. To know that you are joining a family with a rich history in both academics and athletics. To know that you will become one of the future leaders of tomorrow. To focus on one goal, graduation. That's the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, celebrating 35 years of excellence in academics and athletics.
With Rob Kennedy and Matt Hartman, I'm Doug Sherman, back in Albany, where St. Peter's is back to within single digits, 8:06 remaining. See, they've played the second half pretty much even, but Fairfield has had the lead pretty much throughout. St. Peter's had an early 3-point lead. Fairfield's led by as many as 16, but Marcus Gilbert's been quiet in the second half, no points after scoring 17 in that first. Tyler Nelson's picked up the slack a bit here in the second half. He's into double figures with 11. For St. Peter's, couple of double-figure scores as well. Welton, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 3 blocks. And Travis Weiss, 11 points, 3 assists.
And St. Peter's has finally taken care of the basketball here over the last couple of minutes. Got to get shots up.
Whoa. Got a shot up, but Casababu was waiting for him. Patterson bounce it off. Welton this time thinks about it, brings it back out. Long three, Portley. Now coming out of that timeout, St. Peter's got exactly what it wanted out of the screen and roll, just didn't anticipate the help defender going up by the rim.
And then had another good opportunity on the nice bounce pass to Welton. He just couldn't corral it and get it up.
Nelson uses the screen, kicks to the corner. Casababu waits for the cutters. 5 on the shot clock. Here goes Nelson. Little back step for 3. Around and out. Numbers for the Peacocks. Weish. Look at Nelson. Check that, I mean Gilbert. Second big block shot in a row for Fairfield at this end of the floor.
A great effort to get back there, and then you see his athletic ability. See him timing it. That was like a volleyball play.
Now, we've talked about this in the past. Pro scouts certainly know who Marcus Gilbert is. He's got measurables that would at least potentially open a door. Nice set there again for St. Peter's. Desport uses the window.
Yeah, pick and roll, pick and pop kind of in between. Just got to the short corner for a nice open look, and Portley didn't force it that time. He's forced a couple here in the second half.
Again, the shot clock coming into play for Fairfield. Millen in trouble, steps around the defender. He was good just to get the shot off.
Back-to-back possessions. The Stags have gotten stagnant.
Patterson, no.
Well, if you're going to keep swinging for the fence, you're going to have to hit one of those, right? If you keep trying to hit a home run, you got to get one every once in a while.
Reach-in foul on Weish. Second foul on Weish, and just the third here in the second half. And for St. Peter's and John Dunn, at some point here, they're going to start feeling that season slip away. Still have time certainly to make up a 7-point deficit, but like you said, Rob, they've got to start making shots and making plays more consistently. Nelson. Fouled, and if it's on Weish, that's number 3. Indeed it is, number 3 on 3. There's the second team all-conference guard out of St. Peter's Prep. He's a Neptune, New Jersey native. Patterson went for the steal. That leaves Gilbert for 3. His teammate picked him up nicely. Desport made that a tough shot. Nelson. His 3 is off the mark. Another offensive rebound for Fairfield.
And it was Casababu who just took up space there inside. He just cleared space. He didn't come up with the rebound, but they got the rebound because of him.
Here is Casababu with the basketball.
And as big and strong as he is, he's got some skills. He can dribble, handle, and he can also shoot it.
Gilbert has his pass deflected out of bounds. 4 to shoot for the Stags. Gilbert catch and shoot. Air ball. St. Peter's gets it back. Down 7.
Here's where St. Peter's, don't worry about the three-point shot. You're not making threes. Get it back inside. Force them to double in on Welton and play through him.
Well, Fairfield's left the door open by missing 12 of its last 14 shots from the floor. Can St. Peter's take advantage? Welton had that ball roll down his hand a bit. Desport misses the layup. Welton again off the window. It's a 5-point game.
Now, if you keep feeding him, he's going to be able to score it in there. Good job by Desport to come up with the offensive rebound initially and keep it alive.
And now Fairfield starts to feel like, we thought we had this game won. Nelson. Left free right to the basket.
Now, second time we've seen him turn the corner and get all the way to the rim. Fairfield lifts their offensive guys all above the foul line, so Welton's not back there because Casababu's out on the perimeter. So you don't have the rim protector because he's out guarding outside.
There's that matchup again. It's going to be St. Peter's ball, I believe. Yes, the officials confer. And say that the Stags were the last to touch.
Well, certainly the pace of this game has favored St. Peter's. You know, they're comfortable playing in the 50s, 60s. They don't want this game in the 70s or 80s. Good hustle by both teams. Everybody going after it. Actually, you see it there.
Looked like perhaps it was Welton was the last to touch, and that certainly looks to be the case.
Yep, if it was inside of 2 minutes, they would reverse that call.
So St. Peter's catches a break. Portley. Whistle before the shot, and it's a foul. Millen picks up his third. And so Antoine Portley, the young man from the Lone Star State, to the line, shooting 1-1. That's just the 7th team foul against Fairfield. St. Peter's has been called for only 4. So if they need to stop the clock with fouls coming up and try and get Fairfield to the line, they might have to give up a couple of fouls.
And that's one thing coming at the next media timeout. You start saying that to your team, like,
play a little more aggressive.
Absolutely, reach in, be a little bit more aggressive. Don't gamble crazy.
Yep.
But remember, we're still not in the 1-1.
Other than Travis Weiss, who has 3 fouls, nobody for St. Peter's in any sort of trouble.
And this is a Fairfield group. Remember, most of these guys haven't won games in the MAAC tournament, so you start getting a little tighter. They've not been running around offensively the way they were.
Casa Babu wanted that basketball, and he pulled it away from Quadir Welton, who's called for the foul. Big offensive rebound for Sidney Johnson's club, hanging on to a 5-point lead.
All right, everybody, if this doesn't get your toes tapping, then check your pulse.
Ba 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 ba. The joy of cola, joy of bubbles, joy of fun, joy of Pepsi on your tongue. Greatest taste sensation under the sun. Ba 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 ba. Pepsi Cola.
I'm Mike Richter, and I love New York. There's no place like it in the world, especially in the winter. You know I love to play on the ice, but I also love the snow. New York has over 50 ski mountains, more than any other state. So carve some turns, catch some air, or snowmobile in a state with over 10,000 miles of trails. New York State is a winter wonderland. So plan your trip at iloveny.com. There's something for everyone.
56-51 Fairfield up 5 on St. Peter's for a spot in the MAAC semifinals tomorrow. Now it's time to look at our Crons dunk of the game. For that, back to the first half. Marcus Gilbert, not just a three-point shooter, Rob Kennedy.
No, certainly not. He's expanded his game, but he's been dead silent here in the second half. That was part of a monster first half for Gilbert. 17 points, still stuck on 17. He's got to step up. We talked about the fact that Sidney Johnson has challenged him to be a leader, to be that A-type personality, the alpha male. If you're your best player, well, when the game's on the line, you got to step up and want the basketball and start taking charge. It's time for him to do that here now.
There is the senior from Smyrna, Delaware. His older brother was his teammate the last couple of years at Fairfield. Marcus and Malcolm Gilbert. Malcolm played a couple of years at Pittsburgh and then transferred to Fairfield. Nelson off the inbound, had a moment to think about it. Instead brings it back out.
And Patterson doing a good job denying the basketball to Marcus Gilbert.
Shot clock down to 6. Segura. Let's go back over to Matt. He was listening in on the Fairfield huddle during that last timeout.
Doug, obviously you got to give a lot of credit to St. Peter's being scrappy to get back into this, but the message from Sidney Johnson to his team, especially offensively, we've got to go back to what was working in the first half. Get better quality shots. Look for shots that are at least 50% type shots, and we'll be able to close this one out.
Now doing a nice job on the defensive end on this possession. 4 to shoot for Desport. Around and out. 1 and done thanks to Casababu.
Yeah, he has done a good job corralling the backboards. He and Millen both have rebounded the basketball well tonight.
Millen turns the corner, long reach, couldn't find the rim.
That was trying to do too much.
2:15 to go.
Welton battling inside with Casababu.
Crushing blocks delivered by Desport, helping free the 2-point shot for Weiss.
Everybody starts sloughing in and sagging in defensively on Quadir Welton, and that's where Travis Weiss has been able to get most of his points.
He's got a 1-possession game with under 2 minutes to play. Nelson uses the screen. Tough shot. Good help defense by the Peacocks. Long rebound. It goes to the backcourt. And Fairfield has the basketball.
Looked like it got tipped by Marcus Gilbert in the front court. He was the last to touch it and went backcourt. Not positive, but that's what it looked like. It was right here in front of him.
And it's not about possession.
No,
it's about who touched it last.
Goes off your leg into the backcourt, doesn't matter.
And I got to be honest, as we've got a personal foul against St. Peter's, it happened right in front of us, and I couldn't make out who it bounced off of last.
A good hustle. Casababu got his hand on that to keep it alive. Smart play.
Gilbert was the last to touch it.
That's a bad call.
Yeah.
Yep.
So St. Peter's got a break earlier this half. Now Fairfield gets a break. Big free throw for Nelson. Fairfield looking to win for the 7th time in its last 8 games. The only loss in that time came to St. Peter's in their regular season finale, 72-68. This game has a similar feel now in terms of going right to the wire. Portley step back 2. Good looking stroke for the freshman.
And that's a tough shot because Gilbert closed out, had a hand in his face.
Back to a 1-possession game, under a minute to go in regulation. Timeout Fairfield. And I thought for a second Portley was going for the foul. Again, being aggressive, but the next foul would be the 7th against St. Peter's, so you certainly aren't looking to foul there.
No, if you're St. Peter's, you want to come out, you got to defend, and then you got to rebound. They've had a couple of good defensive possessions, but haven't finished it by coming up with the loose ball off the rim.
St. Peter's has out-rebounded Fairfield in the ball game by a small margin, but they've got to make sure they don't give an offensive rebound up here, or else they'll have to foul potentially.
And a small margin, Sidney Johnson will live with that coming into the game. They've been out-rebounded on average by 6 a game. That's 11th. Best or worst, whichever way you want to look at it, in the MAAC. So coming out of this huddle, you've got multiple options for Fairfield. Last year they had one option, and that was you going with Marcus Gilbert. You don't have to do that now. Tyler Nelson, certainly an accomplished scorer. And as well, you can say to Jerome Segura, here's the ball, go make a play. He's not going to necessarily be the guy to score it, but get into the lane and figure out who's going to step off, because now Sidney Johnson has confidence in other guys to be able to make shots.
Yeah, we've seen Casababu, we've seen Degnan, we've seen Millen all make shots in close if Segura can find them. But you still figure Gilbert is option 1, Nelson option 2. They've combined for 32. of the 58 Fairfield points. There they are, numbers 14 and 3 coming out of the huddle together. St. Peter's comes out with Portley, White, Patterson, Welton, and Desport. And Chaz Patterson has the defensive assignment on Marcus Gilbert, as he has all night long. Got to get it in. Barely they do with 20 seconds on the shot clock. Segura has the basketball. Off to Millen.
Gilbert goes back door because Patterson was overplaying him.
Nelson passes away from the ball screen. Here goes Marcus Gilbert. Step back three. He's got it. Scoreless in the second half until the big shot there.
And that's what they want. You want your best player to step up and make a play. Great step back to create the space.
Back out to Portley. Desport. Casababu blocked the shot. And then the foul given up against the Peacocks.
But here's the play. Coming off the screen. Watch this step back. That's breaking ankles. It's that Chaz Patterson, one of the better defenders, down. And watch the bench react. They stood up. That's what you want your best player to do. Finish the game.
20 points for Marcus Gilbert. And perhaps the clinching shot.
And it was interesting, when we came out of that timeout, you saw Segura go over and just kind of punch him in his chest. And Marcus Gilbert, you could almost read his lips, said, "I'm good, I got it." He went back door. Patterson was guarding him. They ran through on the pin down. He came open. He didn't force it right away. Instead, he was able to create the space and then knock it down.
Big free throw for the freshman from the Congo. And there's Elias Desport, the lone senior, whose career could be ending in just a few seconds. Shot clock is off. Chaz Patterson back out to Jones, their three-point specialist. Patterson back out to Jones again. Tough three. And Gilbert's got the basketball, and that will do it. Millen with the exclamation point. The Stags go on to the semifinals.
And that's the definition of a hard-fought win. St. Peter's gutted it out. Didn't play well, but they fought their way back into it. It was a one-possession game late. And then when Sidney Johnson needed his team to make a play, it was his senior star, Marcus Gilbert, who was quiet all throughout that first half, was loud when it mattered most.
So he finished with 20 points, the only three in the second half on that clinching three, and high fives all around for the Fairfield coaching staff. Big smile for Sidney Johnson, much more emotive and demonstrative this year, obviously having more fun. Winning will do that. I saw him before the game giving high fives, flying through the air with his team. We will hear from him when we come back. We'll also hear from our Pepsi player of the game, Sidney Johnson of the Stags. They'll play in the MAAC semifinals tomorrow night.